This is the 2013 Subaru BRZ Limited. The BRZ is Subaru's front engine, rear wheel drive sports coupe. It's been jointly produced with Toyota. We'll go over some of the differences between the Subaru and the Scion FRS. But just wanted to give you a good look at the outside of the car, get into some of the technical specs, and then we'll talk a little bit about the features and what's different between the Subaru and the Scion. This is what it looks like under the hood of the BRZ. One of the first things most people notice is that it does say Toyota and Subaru on the engine. It says Toyota D4S and Subaru Boxer. Keep in mind, this is a genuine Subaru Boxer engine. It's a 2-liter pushing out 200 horsepower. It's extremely powerful for the size of the engine. It is naturally aspirated. There is no turbo or supercharger. The D4S is Toyota's port and fuel injection system. It is port and direct fuel injection, excuse me. It's port injected at low speeds, low RPMs, direct injected at high RPMs to give you that extra little punch once you get the car spooled right up. Now, like all Subarus, again, it is a Boxer engine. 2 liters, 200 horsepower, and it's what's called a square engine. A square engine is an engine that has exactly the same bore and stroke. So your bore diameter and your stroke length are exactly the same. Very unique, very difficult to achieve, but Subaru has managed to do it, which is how they can crank out all that power from such a small little engine. Now this car was built for low center of gravity and balance. This engine sits much lower in the chassis than in the Impreza. How's that possible? Well, there's no front drive shafts. Very difficult to tell from this video, but I'm going to try to get down low and you can see exactly how low the engine is in the car. Now that little top piece, that's just a trim piece over your air intake, but it is extremely low. Again, it's not only extremely low, but the engine is pushed 9 inches further back in the chassis than in the Impreza. What's this do? Moves the balance of the car more towards the center. It is a 55-45 front-rear split, very similar to Subaru's all-wheel drive cars, but without that front drive system, which means they had to move a lot of the weight further to the center of the car. Couple of ways they did that. Again, 9 inches further back in the chassis than the base model Impreza. It also has the battery moved up towards the firewall. Great placement. And a lot of your other things, your air intake has been moved to the front rather than in the back. Your alternator, your air conditioning pump, all up in the front. They've also done some things on the underside of the engine that's very difficult to see, such as where your steering rack is located. Moves everything towards the rear of the car. Like all other Subarus, it does have the yellow caps to tell you which fluids you should check on a regular basis. Remember, yellow means caution. Caution means don't touch them while they're extremely hot, but please check them when they need to. And again, like all other Subarus that are coming out in recent years, it does have the top mount oil filter and actually a timing chain instead of a timing belt. This is the FA engine. Again, not to be confused with the FB engine that's in the Impreza. Much different engine. This engine was built specifically for the BRZ. You won't find it in any other car except for the Scion FRS. This is a unique engine. Again, 200 horsepower, 2 liters, naturally aspirated. It's a square engine, sits very far into the chassis, and it's really what makes this car all that it is. Now, if you get a good look at this light cluster, and I apologize the car is running because in order to show the headlights, the car does have to be on. The headlight cluster is unique to Subaru. Scion does not have this headlight cluster. I'll start at the top here. You do have HID, or high intensity discharge headlights. Your standard blinker cleared out. And then if you notice, around your standard headlight is what Subaru calls the LED Hawkeye. It's unique to the BRZ, will not be on any other car in the near future, but it is a band of LEDs that goes around the main headlight, comes on as your driving lights. Now going down here, you have your standard fog light down on the bottom, and the one above that, that's your LED driving light, or your daytime running light. Under regular driving conditions, and there does have to be somebody in the car for these to come on, you have 4 LEDs that actually are bright blue that display and give you a very nice look to the car when it's running down the road. During the day, you can actually have your Hawkeye, your LED daytime running light going, very aggressive look, unique to Subaru. This is not on the Scion. Now moving around to the side of the car, the first thing you may notice is the marker light on the side of the car. It is a light, it is not a reflector, it does light up. It is on both the Scion and the Subaru, but that is probably something that you'll see some aftermarket parts for down the road. You also have a 17-inch or 17x7 alloy wheel. It comes wrapped with 215, 45, 17 Michelin Primacy tires. These are a road tire. Not meant to be an all-season tire. If you are going to take it out on the track, I'd probably suggest a set of slicks and racing tires. Other than that, not much to upgrade on this car. You look further into the wheel and you can see that there is a very large disc brake. Has a 4-piston caliper on the front, 2-piston on the rear. It's a vented disc brake on the front and a solid core disc brake in the rear. Another great feature from Subaru, something standard on most of our cars, just taken to the next level on the BRZ. Moving along to the back of the car, this is the BRZ Limited, so it does come with the very small spoiler on the top of the trunk lid here. If I get in close here to this taillight, it is an LED taillight. Very nice, high-tech. Gonna look good going down the road. Again, this is standard on both the Scion and the Subaru. Will be coming further on other cars in the Subaru lineup, but as for now, it is unique to the BRZ. Coming down, you do have dual exhaust pipes and the red triangle with backup lights on either side. So your backup lights are down low. Again, on either side of this little red triangle, there are no backup lights up near your brake and marker lights. Moving around to this side of the car, you'll see the standard Subaru gas tank on the passenger side. Every Subaru comes with gas tank on the passenger side. It's a safety feature. If you'd like to know more about that, just give me a call. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. You can see your rear discs, slightly smaller than the front. Again, 2-piston caliper in the back, 4-piston in the front, but your standard 17x7-inch wheels. Moving along, give you another good look at the lines of the car. And go around the car with the lights on, car running. And then we'll get on to the interior features of the car and some more differences between the Subaru and the Scion. Next, we're going to go over the BRZ's interior. But before I do, I'd like to go over Subaru's new keyless entry and engine start system. It is a full keyless system. This is the fob. As you can see, it has Subaru standard lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic buttons. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the lock button to make sure the car is locked. And I'm going to put the key in my pocket. Now all I have to do with this system is walk up to the car. I'm going to put my hand into the handle, and that's going to unlock the door. Open the door, and we're on the interior of the car. Okay, onto the interior. As you can see, this is Subaru's limited model, which has leather and Alcantara seats. Seats do have 3 adjustments: height, backrest, and of course, fore and aft to make yourself comfortable. You also have a leather-wrapped steering wheel, shift knob, and parking brake. Steering wheel does tilt and telescope. That's standard on the Premium and the Limited. And of course, this is the 6-speed manual transmission. It is available in an automatic. It's also a 6-speed built by Aisin. Down below, you will see aluminum pedals. Here's all 3 pedals plus a dead pedal. Gives it a nice finish on the car. Now we move on to the center stack. First thing most people notice about the center stack is the big 6.1-inch screen for your navigation system. This navigation system is standard on the BRZ Premium and Limited. There is no base model at BRZ, remember, that's a Scion. So there is no navigation system available for the Scion. Only the BRZ Premium and Limited, in which it's also standard. Looking down, we do have a dual zone automatic climate control system in the BRZ Limited. 3 knobs, does have a digital readout, and then your levers up and down for on-off, air conditioning, rear defroster, and other settings. Over to the side, you have your USB and auxiliary pin input. And over here, a button that's only on the BRZ Limited. This is your engine start button. Now, in the automatic, you step on the brake, push the button, and the engine starts. Or, in the manual, clutch, push, start. Now that the engine started, you can see the fully illuminated gauge display. Odometer, right in the dead center, with a digital readout for speed. Below is your odometer, which can be changed for other functions. Gas gauge and temperature gauge. Not your silly little lights that come on and off, but full-blown gauges. And of course, your speedometer on the other, your analog speedometer on the other side. Again, with the car on, I'm going to just briefly go through the center stack of the car. You do have your nav system. Going to see a little bit of the display. Apologize for the reflection. Can't be helped in this particular type of light. Moving down, you have your clock. It's not actually 8:58. I have not reset the clock. And your dual zone climate control system. Those are your little levers for off, dual zone, recirculation, air conditioning, and rear defroster. Moving through the car, again, your 6-speed shift knob, and these buttons here. You only get 2 in the manual transmission. You get a 3rd button in the automatic, which I'll go over later, but you have your traction control off button and your VSC sport mode. You can turn traction control completely off in this car, and you can use the sport mode VSC to give you a bit more sporty, a little bit more drift in the rear end when you're taking those sharp corners. Moving through, we do have heated seats. Heated seats are standard in the Premium and Limited BRZ, along with heated exterior mirrors. This is yet one more thing that is not available in the Scion. Moving through, you do have a power outlet, and of course some cup holders. Now to the important part, the rear seat. As you can see, these rear seats are a tight fit for a full-size adult. They do, however, have full latch abilities. So you latch tethers here and up on the top. So you can put a car seat in the back. Children will have lots of fun in the back of this car. Adults, not so much. As you can see with the seat all the way back on the passenger side, it just about touches the rear seat. Lastly, the rear seat back does fold completely flat. This allows full access to the trunk of the car, which I'll show in a little bit more depth in just a few minutes. Now on to the features I know most of you are no longer interested in. One of them is your trunk space. Yes, folks, this car does have a trunk. For the size of the car, it's actually quite a deep trunk, and your rear seats do fold down with just a pull of both levers here. Once your seats are down, you can fit 4 full-size racing wheels with tires, a helmet, and gloves for racing, all in the back. Yes, folks, I've seen it in person. You can fit 4 tires into this car. That being said, you could also fit 2 to 3 golf bags with the seats down. 4 may be possible as long as you're not using Tiger Woods' golf bag. I'm not going to try to climb into the back of this car. It is a tight fit. However, if you push aside the floor mats for a minute, look underneath, it does come with a full-size diameter spare tire. This is another key that Subaru has put into the car. This is not a Miata. You don't get fix-a-flat for your spare tire. Folks, that about wraps it up for the 2013 BRZ. If you'd like to see more of this car, take it for a test drive, come on down, talk to me. My name's Richard. I'm at Patriot Subaru on Route 1 in Saco. I do have 3 BRZs in stock. If you'd like to come down, take a look, get a hands-on experience, I'd be happy to help you. Again, it's Richard Snow at Patriot Subaru, and I look forward to seeing you in the showroom soon.